Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of a new Trekkie. My 5-year mission to search out Star Trek media, to seek out our fans and merchandise, to boldly go where no fan has gone before.
Greetings and salutations. We're back talking about episodes of The Next Generation with episodes Face of the Enemy and the episode Tapestry. And so let's look at the first episode, Face of the Enemy, first. And what actually happened in this episode? Well, in this episode, Deanne Troi is captured and forced to masquerade as a Romulan intelligence officer to help several high-ranking Romulan defectors. I honestly thought the idea for this episode was pretty good in the fact that you have Deanne Troi doing all this stuff, like say, hey, because usually when it comes to episodes with Deanna, you don't have very many episodes where she is the one that is having to be the one that is on the battleground and having to, okay, I need to make the decision of putting myself at risk. So, like, to like say, hey, what can we do? And I believe the story elements of like Spock, how he was trying to help the Romulans, defect from Romulan to basically, become more like connected in a way. To basically say, hey, how they can, they branch off from the Romulans to become, their own group that connects with Vulcans. And I gotta say, I kind of like the fact that ever so often, Marina Sirtis as Anna, she gets some great moments in the episode to show her flex her acting muscles because, for once, she is finally on the battlefield and that she is, having to, like, say, pretend to be a Romulan, so she's having to be in the enemies or the lion's den.
That will be no guarantee that we will escape undetected.
Your cowardice does not befit a Romulan soldier.
People blame the military for the wars that we are asked to fight. But I think it is your kind, Major, that will be the death of us all.
Whether it is having to say, hey, Captain, you're off your rocker, or something like that. And I think she does a great job. And I think she, in a way, is able to, the way the episode was done, she does a great job of selling the episode, of keeping the ship afloat, and because most of the episode is, what would be the word, on her shoulders, as it was, and that the story is based around her, and as well as another Romulan who's just trying to say, hey, here's the plan, here's all the things that we're going to be doing. So overall, I thought they did a pretty good job with this episode. So let's look at the next episode, which is episode Tap. And in this episode, Q allows a supposedly deceased Captain Jean-Luc Picard to revisit a pivotal event in his youth that he has since regret. In a way, he changes his past, but upon returning to the present, he finds that that event, made him who he actually is. So he has to go back to try to change the past. When the writing, apparently when it came to the writing development of this episode, Ronald D. Moore, he apparently had the idea for this episode based around A Christmas Carol of, going back in the past, changing it, and all that.
Great Scott!
To try to, like, right the wrongs of our past, do better, in a way. And I kind of like the idea of, like, say, hey, Picard is, how, like, you think, like, oh, hey, he is saying, like, say, hey, I had to get a artificial heart in after getting stabbed in the back by fighting. I do think, like, say, the idea of, like, it makes me wonder, like, when it comes to, like, the whole perspective of TNG and Trek in general is when you're in Starfleet is, basically, it's an allegory for being in the military. So it makes me wonder, like, say, when you are, like, if you are going, like, if you're on leave and you and your buddies are out there, but as, like, if you were, like, this big hotshot, this big badass, but then one thing in your past changed, how, like, life changes, in a way. And I think Patrick Stewart does a great job, in a way. I think the...
What did you say?
I said, you are a coward.
That's what I thought you said.
In this episode, it's sort of like, say, the friendship between Q and Picard. Like, say, yeah, they're not like buddies, hey, let's have a beer kind of buddies kind of deal, like, and all that. But I think John D. Lancey, he does a great job of still having moments in which he has to be serious, and at the same time having joking moments.
Welcome to the afterlife, Jean-Luc.
Attention on deck, Ensign Picard.
Q.
Flowers? Is there a John Luck Pickard here?
And yeah, he does a great job. It makes you kind of wonder, like, say, if you were given the task to change it, would you actually do it? But what would actually happen if one actually did? So, overall, pretty good episode. See you next time.